He is the founder of LyveCom, which is an amazing live sharing and video selling platform. So you're in good hands. I wanted him to be able to share everything with you guys as far as kind of like a brief overview of the system, kind of where we're headed with this, and exciting news for you guys. So take it away.
I'll take it away. A little bit about me, Max, as mentioned, founder of LyveCom. Been in the Shopify ecosystem since like 2010, so basically seen it all. Wide array of merchants, just the sort of like evolution of Shopify itself, and I've been in the dev ecosystem for quite some time. A little bit about Live. We started 3.5 years ago, basically like peak pandemic, when everything got shut down. I was a PM at a jewelry D2C company at the time. We were trying to find like a live streaming solution. We were streaming on Instagram, Facebook. Obviously, there's like a huge disconnect between data and really like owning the customer within that pipeline. So I essentially built the MVP out, that kind of evolved into a whole full-fledged, like full stack video commerce solution that's built on top of Shopify. I know most of you folks are on CommentSold, good solution. It sounds like a lot of you are either outgrowing it and they're also deprecating the connection with Shopify backend, which is, I'm sure, a nightmare managing two databases with your orders, your customers, et cetera, et cetera. So this is where kind of like Live comes in. We built it on top of Shopify, so comparative to like a CommentSold, which is almost like a Shopify competitor, if you really think about it. So they want to own the full transaction, right? The entire sort of like ecosphere. And that's what they're super kind of like hesitant on rolling out like a public app with CommentSold on Shopify and so forth. And Shopify kind of wants to bill you if you're within that dev ecosystem. So there's that huge disconnect. And obviously, going back to like benefits of Shopify, I'm not really gonna dive into them, but Shopify is a public company. They've been around for a very long time, super robust, very diverse developer ecosystem. So tools like Klaviyo, any subscription apps. There's like 10,000 apps on the Shopify App Store. So as far as just like the base tech, Shopify is obviously a major winner in the ecosystem. With CommentSold, again, like the way they kind of like set it up, and the reason why you guys are having issues with, let's say, like overselling, right? Returns, the car hold system, the commenting system. It's a bit, it's not as seamless as far as like UX and just like the way the entire flow works, both from like an end user perspective and obviously the operator. So as far as like a solution that's like really off the shelf, super plug and play, especially if you're already on Shopify, or even if you're thinking about transitioning on Shopify, LyveCom is obviously a really good solve for this. And I will dive in shortly on all the different benefits and applications and the way we kind of set up the system and why it's so easy to use and why it's so good. And then lastly is like the price point, right? We don't take any rev share. So it's all like month over month flat. We don't price couch. And then obviously support. We're all US based people. We're all here. And we really want to work with the community, with you guys, and really like listen to your feedback. So you have us on standby with any like new feature updates or releases. So we really want to work with you guys to like really make this platform cater to you, essentially, right? So dedicated CSM, I'm always here in the group. We'll be moderating everything. So any help anybody needs, like we're always there. So you guys will definitely get responses from us basically in a nick of time. Like CommentSold, I know I've heard some of their support is not the best, to say the least. So without further ado, yes, Jody, we do offer a free trial, 2 weeks, no cost. It's month over month. We help you implement, onboard everything. We basically walk you through everything. We help with like playbooks, marketing playbooks, and so forth. And we actually have 2 products under the hood. So we have shoppable vids, which are essentially like reels. Think of it as recreating the experience on socials, but on web. And then obviously live streaming, right? So I'm going to share my screen, show you guys a few examples. First, I'll walk you through like the end user experience, everything that's on site. And then I'll dive into the actual dashboard backend. So let me just share my screen. Dar, I think the screen sharing is disabled. By the way. I think if you hit, let me see, should be somewhere in settings. This is why I'm not a fan of Zoom.
Let's see. Share screen.
We good?
Yes.
Awesome. So, okay, let me just minimize this. So what we're really, really good at, right, is, again, Shopify ecosystem. That's what we excel at. This is what we know. We build the entire product basically on top of Shopify. So everything from your product SKUs to inventory, everything's automatically synced. You don't have to copy links. You don't have to upload anything. It's all automated, right? So going back to sort of end user experience and the products under the hood, first one is our Shoppable vids. As you can see, I don't think Hayloft is within your ecosystem. I'll show you guys Prickly, which I'm sure a lot of you know. So these are on-site vids. Once you open it up, it's a really good way to sort of do product discovery for customers instead of them having to jump around sort of like page to page, right? Find out what's new, what's trending. You can sort of like recreate this social experience, but obviously on web. I'll show you guys mobile because, most of the traffic, if not like 90%, is all mobile-based traffic. And again, this is all web-based. Like this is, for Shopify store. Once you open it up, again, full screen, very similar to IG Reels. And it's like an endless feed scroll. They could just scroll through. And as you see, we have these little product highlights at the bottom, which again, get pulled from your Shopify's backend. And you can add them to cart, select your variants, right? You may also like. We basically power this entire experience, right? Once you add it to cart, obviously we're synced up with Shopify, so the cart is integrated automatically with Shopify's backend, right? Super easy to check out. You don't have to like log in. You don't have to create accounts like you have to do on CommentSold. So as far as just like conversion, right? Shopify in itself has the highest checkout conversion rate in the entire e-commerce like sort of sphere, right? So just being on Shopify in its own is a huge benefit to your business, right? So again, going back to Shoppable vids, product discovery works super, super well, instead of, again, having to jump around page to page, yada, yada. Another sort of like placement is on the actual product pages. So another product or another format that we have of embedding these is these like sort of like bubbles. We call them bubbles. Super good for addressing those like buyer decision questions, sizing, style guides, fits, etc. In Glam's case, I know this is more like a beauty brand. But again, similar concept. Once you open this up, right? That's Anna, the founder. She talks about like, the application process, durability, right? Any like most commonly asked questions that you guys get, and why people are not purchasing. In your case, it's probably like again like sizing, style, fit guides. Here's like a good example of a fashion brand. And I think they did a phenomenal job on displaying these. So they have models actually, modeling out the fits. And actually what we're doing with the Simplified team is we're integrating with their Vimeo backend, where you guys are getting all those video assets, and we're gonna figure out a way to do automated distribution, right? So as soon as you get a new, let's say, collection, right, imported into your Shopify, you'll automatically get the video assets, and they'll automatically be embedded within that product page, right, with the product tags and everything. So that's another big benefit of obviously like working together, because again, we really want to work with the community to simplify the process, create those workflows that just make everything as seamless as possible. So again, Shoppable vids work super well. They're very like low lift, high impact, because again, increase in conversion rate at checkout, we average around 8 to 14% as far as like increase in conversion. And obviously time spent on page, right? Like when users are not finding what they're looking for, they're way more likely to bounce, obviously. So, we 4x time spent on page or on site in general with people that do engage with Shoppable vids on site. Another sort of like cool thing that you can do is take your lives, clip them up, and create this sort of like highlight reels and have them get displayed as Shoppable vids as well. So again, as far as playbooks, like help during onboarding, we walk through all the different placements and everything that works. We even done embedding for customers. So again, you have us as a resource to really, help you guys out with importing, tagging, distribution, or anything like that. So carousels, again, really good for social proof. Here's another really good example. I think Rosie's Closet. Is this like UK brand? Spelled that wrong. Let me find them. There. It's a .uk site, but very similar, sort of like boutique style example. I just want to show you guys like kind of like boutique examples. So they have this like floating widget, which you can also do. They just highlight their like newest release. Obviously gets a really high engagement since the floater. We can close it out. They have a shopper feed section on homepage, and any PDP that you go on, sort of the same thing. Instead of just having like written reviews and really nothing else, they have a shopper feed that's, again, super engaging. It's a lot of click-through rate, and it's super easy to check out, obviously, and be able to tell like what everything looks like, right? So that's basically on Shoppable Vids. The beauty is like we're integrated again with all the major providers. So if you're using like rebuy checkout or like the slider cart, right? Or you're using any subscription apps, if you're doing subscriptions, Klaviyo, we're integrated basically with the majority of the ecosystem with like the bigger apps. So like Yopo reviews, we're also integrated with them, et cetera, et cetera. Again, we always take any feedback on any integrations that you guys would want. We can always do those. It's pretty fast and straightforward with us. We're really quick to iterate and take user feedback very seriously. So that's it on Shoppable Vids. Now let's sort of move on to live streaming. So let me just close this out. The way we set up lives is a bit different than the way CommentSold does it. So I will focus on the web experience first, and then I will talk about our Tapcart integration, where if you do want an app, you can also do that. So with on-site setup, again, pretty straightforward. We build out this sort of like landing page. We have all of your upcoming lives, all of your previous shows on this quote unquote channel page. All of this is dynamic, right? So as soon as you schedule a live, you have this RSVP that's upcoming. And if you did a live, obviously these previous lives will also show up. The beauty again here with the RSVPs is that we're collecting both email and phone number, right? And I can't stress enough the importance of getting that user data so they can market to them after. Again, going back to our integrations, all these emails are segmented within Klaviyo, right? So you're getting a new customer segment. You can always market to them post, right? Again, collect all those emails, and as you're going and building out sort of like your user list, your lives will be bigger and bigger as you go, right? But again, everything is segmented within Klaviyo, and we also get phone numbers. So once you go live, we essentially send 3 notifications out. Once the RSVP, 10 minutes before the live starts, and then as soon as you go live. Again, it's both email and text. And, I'm sure you guys know, texts get a very high engagement. So our show up rate from these RSVPs is extremely high because, again, we send text out with the direct link to the actual stream, right? So that's basically the pre-live, right? RSVP, you could share this link anywhere, right? So let's say you're promoting across socials, or you're doing email campaigns, text campaigns, trying to get these RSVPs. Again, you have a direct share link, right? Copy it. Anybody that accesses that link will get the automated pop-up to sort of like RSVP for the event itself. We got a nice little countdown. You don't need to log in. You don't need to do any of that, right? So that's that as far as pre-campaigning. Now, we do have a pretty extensive playbook that we share with everybody on, what you're doing pre-campaign, a few days before, the day of, and what you're doing after. So we do have a really good marketing playbook on really maximizing your reach and maximizing your campaigns, right? As far as the actual lab experience, maybe we have one running right now. Let me think. Let me just double check. This is kind of like a back end. Let me see if we have a live running. That would be super cool. If I could just show you a live experience. No, unfortunately we don't. I'll just fire one up super quick from our demo site. Just give me one moment. So this is our dashboard that, again, plug and play. You just install on your Shopify site, automatically integrated. Everything is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to run a quick test live just so that you guys see the experience. You can upload video. You can stream from desktop or with lyrics. You can stream in 1080p, really good quality. Let me just find a super lightweight asset just to launch this live. It's probably going to be like some super random video, so don't pay attention to that. Yeah, let's do this. Probably fine. Yeah. So again, keep in mind, this is just like a random video that we're uploading to test the live out on the front end, right? Uploaded it. We're technically quote unquote live, right? And if we go on our front end, this is our demo store, live demo, blah, blah, blah. Do I have it embedded? I don't think I have our script embedded. Great. I'm not ready. Sorry about that. Give me 2 seconds. 1 sec. Just adding the streaming widget to the theme. 1 moment, please. Save on that. And again, if we go back to that sort of like demo store, we'll see the little live streaming widget pop up, right? And again, the beauty is that it's site-wide, right? Like any page that you go, and do you guys see my incognito window? Just to make sure. Sometimes you don't see it. Just want to double check. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah.
Yes, no, maybe. Yeah, cool. So yeah, as soon as the live happens, right, as soon as you actually go live, you're live site-wide, right? So any page that the user goes on, they'll be able to see the live. Obviously, if it's like distracting for them, they can just minimize it. It'll be like a little tab like this, right? And again, once you open it up, this is kind of the way the experience looks. Don't pay attention to the actual video. It was a super random upload. But again, everything is interlinked with Shopify checkout, right? So everything goes direct to Shopify checkout. If let's say, you have 0 units on a SKU, this will be out of stock, so you'll never oversell anything or anything like that. Obviously, this is our chat function. You don't have to log in. You can just use any chat username and interact with chat. Makes that super easy. And as far as mobile experience, very similar to what you'd expect on Instagram, TikTok. We want to create that sort of familiarity between socials and your web experience, so we're not really like reinventing the wheel, right? And again, the way to check out, pretty straightforward. Just add to cart. We have our own native cart. Once you hit checkout, you get taken to the Shopify native checkout, just like that. So that's that. And on the back end side, if you guys are curious how the actual lives function in our back end, here's the event that's currently live, right? Let's open it up. As far as, chat moderation, anything like that, like if somebody's being malicious, you can always ban them by IP. So we have that, you can block user by IP address. Your product catalog is automatically synced and you can update it in real time. So let's say, you forget to add a certain product and you want to showcase it, you can literally search anything from Shopify. And as long as that SKU is active, you're able to add it directly to your product catalog. And right now, right, we only had 3 products here. Let me add another 5 or 6 of these. And then if we go back to our live here, just refresh this. I think this is like cached. Yeah, it is cached. Oh, it's not cached. So if we open this back up, as you can see, our shop product catalog got updated with all the SKUs that I just added. Apologies for the mess. Trust me, it looks a lot better if it's an actual stream and not this random video that I have. But again, everything is dynamic, as you saw, right? We just added a few products to the catalog, automatically got updated. I think with CommentSold, I'm pretty sure it's stop the stream or something to update products. With us, it's all on the fly, right? So if you forget something, you can easily add it. The highlights, these little stream overlays that you guys see, you can just drag and drop them essentially. So let's say, you're talking about a specific product, you want to highlight it as an overlay, right? Right now we have no overlays here. If I drag and drop this to the highlighted products, boom, there's your highlighted product, right? It's essentially a showcase. Again, as you can see, we have a subscription app integration here. So everything just works with our widgets, right? So, and again, site-wide, everything is pretty seamless. We work with like any theme. We're like extremely optimized for web, so you're not going to be slowing down like your site speed or anything like that. We're like optimized for web delivery essentially, right? So that's the live experience. You can also pin a comment, obviously, chat with users, respond to comments directly, pretty straightforward. Live insights, things like that. You get all your signups. And then once you're done with the stream, right, as you see, like we have the streaming window here. If anybody, let's say, has an active cart, right, like they have something added to their cart, see this is out of stock, as I mentioned, we're all synced up. But if somebody adds something to cart, let me find something that's in stock here. Demo stores, swear to God. Let's say somebody has something in their cart, right? Didn't get a chance to check out yet, and then you ended the stream. We'll automatically take the cart and redirect it to their front end cart. This is a demo store, so I have my front end cart like disabled. This is like another demo live that I'm running. But we'll automatically grab that cart that was active and redirect it to your front end store cart. So like, let's say in Prickly's case, it's like this guy right here, right? So somebody had an active cart, you just get updated within their native store cart and they can just proceed with checkout, right? So you won't like lose that sale or anything like that. That's pretty much as far as like the live experience on web. Again, site-wide, very seamless, super plug and play. Integration takes maybe like half an hour to get this set up and running. With the customizations now and like just everything you're able to do as far as making this app some brand as you possibly can. You can obviously update your logo. We pull your language if you guys are selling somewhere abroad. Appearance, everything from like your video player colors, your button colors, accent colors on chat. We pull your store font automatically. So again, everything is as on brand as possible. Border radiuses, if you guys want like rounded edges or square edges, you can do that as well. With the notifications, as I mentioned, those are also fully editable. So you can, update your copy, update your logos on the emails. Obviously text, you can't use any images, but you could update the copy, make it as on brand as you want. And again, we said 3 notifications. On the last one, once you're going live, it'll literally just be your site leg because the stream is on site. So that's pretty straightforward. Simultaneously, you're obviously able to simulcast to really maximize that reach. Our whole premise though, and again, this kind of falls in with like, what are the differences between us and CommentSold? We want customers on your website, right? Because it's just much easier to leave if you're, let's say like on Instagram or on Facebook, right? You can just swipe up, see a picture of a dog, then you're gone, right? So our whole premise is like, yes, simulcast, and you can simulcast anywhere, like Facebook Live, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. There's a bit of stuff that's happening with TikTok, but there is a workaround. But everything else we can obviously do. Pretty straightforward. You just add the connections. The live that you just saw will get broadcasted out to all of your socials. But again, the whole premise there is to really maximize your reach and funnel that traffic to your point of sale, which is your website, right? Where, again, they're engaging with your brand, your messaging, obviously data, right? You want the email. So, we always just encourage merchants to just say, hey, in case you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, hop over to our site. We're streaming Shoppable, we're doing a discount or whatever the incentive is. But you want the user on your site. And again, that way we're eliminating, we just, the whole like CommentSold thing of commenting a certain number, I think it makes it a little bit harder for the user, especially if it's a new customer and they don't really know what's happening and the invoicing part. So yeah, we just set it up with Shopify and everything is going directly through Shopify checkout instantly. Now, as far as setup and like scheduling the live, right? So for example, you guys saw that Inherit has 2 upcoming lives, right? You can schedule all of them ahead of time directly through the dashboard. It's really straightforward workflow. Hit a new stream. This is our campaign creation flow right here. You come up with the event title. So let's say it's like a sample sale. These are just like notes, offer a discount, let's say, blah, blah, blah. You can obviously select date and time. That's where the countdown comes in. You can tag products before the event starts, or as you saw, we can do it during the event, and then just upload a nice little poster image. I'll just grab something random here. Maximum file size, sorry. Let me grab some and whatever this works. Cool. Hit finish. This gets scheduled, right? As soon as you have something in scheduled, again, your channel page will get updated with the new upcoming live. You can schedule as many as you want in advance. There's like no limit. You know, you can have like 30 of them if you want. Promote it, get those RSVPs, right, et cetera, et cetera. Once you're ready to actually stream, this is the quote unquote producer dashboard. I'm pretty sure CommentSold has something probably similar to this. And again, you have a few ways that you can actually stream with us. So you can use your native Mac camera. Obviously, the quality is not going to be the best with WebRTC streaming. And I think CommentSold's Veto app, or whatever it's called, they do WebRTC streaming, which is like not a good practice by any means. You can't really stream in 1080. You'll have lower latency, but just the quality is not going to be the best. You could upload video, obviously, or you can use any broadcasting software. We like Lyrics. It's super easy and simple to use. It's a one-time setup. Think of it as like churning your phone into a professional grade camera. So we always recommend just stream with your iPhone with your back camera, because it's obviously high quality. Set up a tripod, forget about the phone, just use it as a camera. And you're really using the dashboard for everything else, right? So anything from like comment engagement, obviously product highlights, et cetera, et cetera. Using the dash, the phone is strictly just the camera. We do have our own broadcasting app coming out super soon. But again, Lyrics is like, it's a free app, super easy to use. It's a one-time setup. We'll do it during onboarding. It takes like, again, 5 minutes to basically get that set up and connected. If you want to get like super fancy with high production, you can use OBS with us, or really any streaming software. It really doesn't matter. So we're very sort of like dynamic as far as, you know, type of software that you can use on the streaming side. And again, with Lyrics, we're really able to output in 1080, so it's super high quality. There's less interruptions, obviously, because you just have one device that's just dedicated to handling the stream. And we have tons of just best practices on, like, you know, testing your Wi-Fi speed, making sure you have a good connection, making sure we're not buffering, and we're bitrate dynamic. And basically what that means is we prioritize stream deliverability. So let's say the end user is in like a really slow network and like a shitty Wi-Fi, or like, you know, they have like 1 bar on 5G. We try to eliminate buffer as much as possible. So we'll just bump them down on the quality. So instead of 1080, you know, they'll be seeing the stream in like 720 or 480, depending on what network they're on. But we do prioritize stream deliverability like over anything, right? So we minimize the buffer like as much as possible. Obviously, it's dependent on your connection, how you're streaming. But again, we have tons of best practices. And during onboarding, we'll run a bunch of tests, make sure everything is running smoothly. So that's basically it as far as the way you stream. Again, you use your dashboard, you'd start the preview, you'd fire up your camera. As soon as you hit go live, all of those notifications go out, and you're streaming site-wide and across all your socials, essentially, right? That's pretty much it. And again, if you guys have any questions, we'll do a quick Q&A towards the end. Are we looking on time? I think we have like 7 minutes. The other big thing we have is obviously our analytics. And let me open up an account that has some stuff going on. Obviously, again, keep in mind, demo accounts are not, there's like no data here. But the beauty with us is we're tracking direct revenue, right? So anything that gets checked out through your shoppable vids, let's say on site, or your, you know, stream checkouts. We also measure attribution. So let's say somebody, you know, watches a stream, comes back a day later and then buys something. We'll obviously display attribution. Or let's say somebody watches a video out of the shoppable vids, we'll attribute that to live. So you're able to really measure impact and how things are going. We have a blended conversion rate. So these are all of the merch or all of the users that actually engage with video, right? So from streams to shoppable vids, you got your AOV, initiated checkouts. And again, we're pulling all this data directly from like Shopify's back, and we use Shopify's Pixel to measure all this. Let me open up an account with some stuff instead of my shitty one. Okay, they're friends of ours, so we can totally hop in here and show you some of their data. Boom, here's like the dash. Let it load up. And again, go back to analytics. So full overview. You can really filter by dates, anything you really want, initiate checkouts, direct attributed, all of your engagement rates. You're really able to tell like how well video is performing on site, in video engagement rates. It's taking a bit to load. I'm like a super slow network right now. Unique views, video completion rate, everything broken down by content. So like your individual vids, your different campaigns, obviously your lives, things like that. Here, let me just filter this by like 2 days so that it's not loading. Sorry guys, like extremely slow network today. Everything from like your orders, view durations, initiated checkouts, your entire content library broken down by like conversion, views, attributed sales. This is just by day, just keep that in mind. And then obviously all of your orders, this is one order from 2 days ago, but you can click into and actually like see the order that came through us, right? So again, full transparency on like how well your lives are performing, your Shoppable vids, etc. The one other call out that I did want to point out is just like ease of implementation on the Shoppable video side. Let me just open up my demo account one more time. So on the Shoppable vid side, which again, super low lift, high impact, you can upload vids directly from all of your socials, whether it be like TikTok, Instagram. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to do an integration with Simplified, and the entire process of like, instead of you guys having to go into like the Vimeo folders and grabbing all those associated assets with like the new collections, we'll just have automated pulls essentially into the live dash. But for now, again, you can upload directly from your desktop, Instagram, TikTok URL, doesn't really matter. So this is just pulling my reels from my account. You can tag any products, again, from your Shopify's backend. As I mentioned, you can add a CTA. Let's say you want to do like a, shop new collection on the actual asset. You can paste the URL, redirect the user there, come up with a title, right? Once you finish, again, we host all the videos. So we're like a CDN that, doesn't impact site speed. So, in like Glam's case, let's say they have like, 15 videos on this one page, the impact is the same as like a Google tracking script. So very minimal, right? If you like ever tried embedding video on site, like a YouTube embed or a Vimeo, it definitely nukes site speed. And forget about, endless scroll or like, in video checkouts or anything like that. So you upload the vid, we have all these different assets in here. All those different groups that you guys saw, like let's say, in Berkeley's case, like the best sellers, right? Those bubbles or anything like that. They're just essentially groups within LyveCom, right? So you can create a carousel, you can create a bubble. We'll go with the carousel. Let's say this is like homepage discovery. Hit next, you select all the vids that you want within that group, right? So let's say we want like these 5, get carousel, it'll generate the playlist for you. And all this is dynamic, right? So after you embed it on site, and let's say you want to update the content or, you want to update your design or whatever it might be, it's all dynamic. So you don't have to like re-embed, you don't have to do any of that. Everything is super on brand. Again, like everything from, your product highlights at the bottom, let's say, spacing, borders, border sizes, border radiuses. Again, all no code, all dynamic. If you update this, it'll automatically update on site. And the way to embed this, again, very straightforward. If you guys are familiar with Shopify's app embeds, we're a app extension. So you can just copy this campaign ID. And then on the Shopify storefront, you'll just add our app extension, drop the ID in there, and it'll automatically render the section for you. If you guys want to see a quick example, let me just go back to our store. Boom. Let me just log in here. So we have the carousel here that we just made, right? Publish carousel, grab the campaign ID. Once you're within your sort of store builder or within your theme, again, super straightforward, hit customize, and then you'll just add a section like right here. See what